ladies and gentlemen.
Let's keep it
Welcome
clean,
to
folks.
Match B here at the Group B qualifying round of the Australian Esports League 2014 Summer Cup.
Radiant's
My name is
banned.
Coldblood, and joining me once again will be Hawksbach Thorum. How are you, boss?
Yeah, not too bad, dude.
Dyer's banned.
It's a pretty good game that we saw just earlier. Gonna
Radiant's
suck
banned.
up, banned out by SNX. It's a pretty common one. He must be pretty strong, man. I
Dyer's
would
banned.
like to see him slip through the draft these days with his new ult.
Yeah, well, we'll have to keep waiting. I saw a Night Stalker the other day, and I thought about you. Oh God, he was so scary. He just ran up and beat the hell out of people. Oh, it was very scary. I wish you'd been there. I think you were still setting up though.
Yeah, I probably would have had to be cleaning up after it too.
Reserve.
Okay, so we're now into the lobby. It will be between
Radiant's
Seraphic
dead.
Nexus and Defenestrative Apocalypse,
Dyer's dead.
which will now be known as DA because I'm not going to say that again, and I think you share that with me, Hawks. So Seraphic Nexus. Yep.
I was just saying.
So SNX are very well known in the LoL scene, definitely one of the best teams in the country, and after seeing them last week, I'd have to say the same is true of their Dota team. They are very talented, so hopefully the DA guys have it in them to put up a resistance. Like you said, the Visage, the Crystal Maiden, the Slark, and the Nix have been banned out. Timbersaw gonna make his way through the draft for the first time in the entirety of the AEL Summer Cup this year. We have the Alki being locked in.
10
He's been
seconds to go.
highly contested thanks to that unstable concoction. Very, very powerful
5
lockdown.
seconds.
And they're also going to lock in a Furion for themselves. And we have the Sunstrike King going to be going mid.
Reserve time.
Yeah, I do love me some well-played invokers, man. There's just so many things that man can do to turn a team fight around. And he just has that global presence, obviously, with the Sunstrike there. Just a whole bunch of utility have played well. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to see a big Vokes. I don't mind it. Do have a Nature's Prophet, so, we're going to have a lot of late game push through the Alki and Prophet there, man. I mean, that's all kinds of nightmares right there.
Yeah, so the DA fellas, they're going to have to get something to deal with that. Picking the Invoker early on can be a little bit dangerous, as he loves to go the early points in Exhort and
10
have a lot of
seconds
right-click
to go.
damage, but of course, that leaves him quite squishy. So they're going to have to find a happy medium there.
Dyer's banned.
We have the Enchantress, the Weaver, and the Mirana banned out. Mirana played quite well in the previous game, did not end up winning though. And we are going to see another ban come out of DA. It will be the OD, so they've really focused out the supports there, and then they do not want OD making Invoker's life absolutely painful with taking away all that right-click damage we were talking about.
Yeah, he can obviously wreak a whole bunch of havoc in mid there. We've got a Viper pickup, so I mean that's probably who we'd be seeing mid, I'd say. A lot of like right click power we've got in the end of the game there for SX there. We've got the Alki, obviously, the Prophet and the Viper. It'll be interesting to see what kind of role Alki plays. If he plays hard carry, then we'll have Viper mid and Prophet in the
10
jungle
seconds
as
to
their
10
three
seconds
core
to go.
heroes. I mean, that does sound quite
5
disastrous late game.
I would say what's been happening a lot lately is Alchemist is played as a support.
Reserve time.
He's a very aggressive roaming support. Normally pair him up with someone with a single target lockdown, and that person's going to die very quickly, and then he becomes an absolute brick wall later on, getting the blink dagger to blink forward and snipe someone off with a stun, tank up the towers. Luna going to be locked in by the DA guys, so they've almost got their safe lane. So I do like the Luna pick against the Alki. They're going to be able to disengage with the Lucent Beam and the Telekinesis, but of course she has nothing else apart from that, so they're going to have to be careful. That late game you were talking about
10 seconds
making
to go.
itself known on both teams, and the Storm Spirit going to come out, so
5
we can
seconds.
expect a lot of roaming out of SNX, although that means that Viper will be
Reserve
headed
time.
into the farming lane, and that's going to be very dangerous for the Luna, as of course Viper Strike can absolutely cripple her.
Yeah, even that corrosive skin, man, the magic resist and basically any attack that she pulls on him, that'll just kind of whittle her down too. Not to mention it'll make tanky as hell for that ult late game. So, yeah, somewhat of an interesting pickup.
10 seconds to go.
I'd imagine there, but I do love the Storm Spirit, man. Hopefully we'll see a big Storm Spirit there. So we're definitely going to see that support Alki, as you said. And then it'll be interesting to see who their last pickup's going to be. It's going to have to be a support of some type.
Yeah, well, I do like the mid-game power of Seraphic Nexus to buy the Nature's Prophet time to, be a jerk, as the Furion players love to do. Bane and Jakiro copping some bans here, so the support's going to be very, very key as to securing the early game for the teams, because that is what they're going to be relying on. Reserve time employed by DA here. They could go for Naga Siren. What else is available for them? The CM has been taken out of the pool, rightly so. As Leshrac, so they want to go for a bit of the anti-push. Very smart.
Oh, a bit of push there. I mean, that edict will just destroy towers. I do love me a bit of Leshrac too. He's obviously got that stun there, which gets bigger with the levels. Fairly solid pickup there. I mean, that's a lot of magic damage early game too through the Timbersaw. We've got Invoker there too. Luna, obviously, that's a strong early game. And then we've got SD as the last.
That makes a lot of sense, because disruption into unstable concoction, that's a lot of lockdown. So I do like that pickup. And I'm going to be interested to see if the Shadow Demon decides to put a point in the Shadow Poison early on, because we've been seeing it more and more recently, because that the poison, it gives vision. And it actually travels a fair way, so it's a very spammable ability that grants you vision, yet Shadow Demons aren't picking it up till 12. So we'll have to see how that ends up going on. The Rubik, of course, going to be able to steal some key things on the enemy team. I'm thinking Unstable Concoction and what is the Shadow Demon's ult? The Demonic Purge. That would be very handy against the Storm Spirit to get the bottle charges off him and whatnot. We're now into the game here, Hawks, and we'd like to give a thank you to the sponsors of the tournament, which are Thermal Tech Esports, BenQ, Audio Technica, and AS Rock. They make this all possible. And do you want to go through Seraphic Nexus for us?
Damn, I was hoping I'd take it through DA there. You're giving me all the hard ones, man. I'm pretty sure that we've actually casted these guys in Cybergamer, because I quite distinctly remember the name Jabberwabber, because I had a giggle about it. He's going to be on the Storm Spirit there, probably looking towards the mid-roll. Then we're going to have Prophet, who's played by Miller member KF. I suppose you'd say that name. Then we've got Narcotic, who's going to be on the Viper, putting head on the Shadow Demon, and Princess Ella on that Alchemist there.
Okay, and representing Defenestrative Apocalypse, or DA, as a bunch of chat goes off trying to figure out if the game's actually loaded. On the Luna, with a very cool helm, we do have Burner. He will be joined by the very cool looking Rubik, who is anachromic? Anachromic? Yeah, I think Anachromic is what he's going for. Anachromatic. Okay, thank you. They'll also be joined by Sydney, a nice easy one where you currently are here, Hawks. In the mid lane, we will have Out of Control, hopefully for the sake of Seraphic Nexus. His Sunstrikes are well within control, or they will have to be dodging those all game long. And Exodus, or I think I gave you the easy ones. Zodius is going to be the Timbersaw. Very interesting that he managed to get his way through there. The reactive armor going to be absolutely key in warding off the harassment of the Viper. We've got a bunch of Hadoukens going in the chat.
Yeah, a couple of Shoryukens there. Let's bust out some Street Fighter.
So a bunch of Iron Branches picked up around the map here, so the team's definitely going to be focusing on the early game. We have Tangos already being shared with Narcotic on the Viper. Have we got any smokes picked up? We do indeed on Sydney as the Leshrac and Princess Ella as the Alchemist. Wondering if the teams are going to go for any aggression early on. We've seen that a lot in the Summer Cup thus far, a lot of, mainly the Radiant. They'll invade the enemy's jungle, put some aggressive wards down, whereas the Dire team, they like to stay back. There's a bunch of disconnects coming out from DA. We're waiting for them to reconnect here. And it looks as though, to me, that the Luna Rubik combo is heading bot, so I don't know if that's to try and ward off the level 1 aggression we've been talking about, or if they want a solid 3v3.
Oh, yeah, not sure. I mean, they might chuck down or be expecting a solo bot, which, who could they throw solo bot?
Oh, well, the Nature's Prophet, he's... I can see why they'd want Timbersaw going up against him. There's not a lot that Furion can do against the Timbersaw. He's going to be able to freely farm up, so that could be what they're going for, or it could just be, you know, positioning for the level 1.
I would... I mean, I'd say you can't throw a Prophet out in the lanes there with the Timbersaw, because, I mean, he would wreck his day, essentially.
Yeah, certainly. The Ring of Trees only going to provide true damage for the Whirling Death, which is the Q. In the mid lane, we will have the Invoker up against the Storm Spirit. I imagine that Invoker would be quite well off early on. He's got himself a Ring of Basilisk and a couple of Tangos, so he wants to be able to spam his spells, so I think he wants to try and get some lane dominance early on here, as his lane opponent has gone for a few Iron Branches to help with last hitting, and going to be going for Null Talisman, I'd say.
Yeah, no, probably into a bottle as well. You got to remember, Storm Spirit obviously enjoying the bottle there and the rune domination, whereas Voka, he'd probably just kind of want to stick to more the middle lane and just get that early EXP.
Yeah, he could go for a Midas as well. We've seen that a lot of Invokers, and with varying success. Definitely depends on the early game, whether he gets going and can contribute while just farming up, because of course he gets very, very scary the more experience he gets, able to you know, get the 2 Forge Spirits out and all kinds of things like that. It's going to be interesting to see who manages to control the runes. As you mentioned earlier, Seraphic Nexus definitely want to try and secure it for the Storm Spirit. But as far as skirmishing goes, DA, they've got a pretty decent team for meeting in the river.
Yeah, I'll give you that one, dude.
Okay, so waiting for the game to start still. Having router problems, it looks like, in the DA house. They're saying they're good to go, I think. Or they're saying GG. I hope it's good to go. Yeah, we are going to be resuming here, Hawks, so we'll have to see who can get the early positioning out, and I think, yeah, it looks as though DA going to head down to the bottom part of the map for the time being. They could still go for the safe laning Luna, which, I mean, either way is viable, because either way Timbersaw is going to have a heyday against Nature's Prophet, or they're going to have a Luna with safe farm. Either way they're going to be happy, so it's going to be down to Seraphic Nexus to see what they want to do. They are going to be striding forward, although they do not have the Nature's Prophet with them, and he does have the Treants, not the Teleport, which is very typical. So the Seraphic Nexus guys, they got to be careful here.
Yeah, there's no wards up, and rightly so. They do back up at the right time. They're probably aware that, you know, this kind of business might exactly happen. They do have the smoke up there. They could back up and pop one and see what's up. I mean, no wards have been put down yet. Oh wait, the Treelings busted them.
So well played there by the Furion. Yeah. Oh, he's no skin, so we can't see him too well. So it's fair enough.
And
yes, there is a rune about to be spawned, and I think it was a double damage just before that rune died off.
Oh, well, yeah.
We're gonna have a safe lane Storm Spirit, dude. That's wicked.
Oh.
He's going to be farmed. I like this. This is cool.
No, yeah, that is very good. So I would imagine that Viper does much better against the Invoker than a Storm Spirit would, as Invoker, he may have to focus on Quas just to heal through the poison attack damage. We'll have to see if he does go greedy and if he goes for the Midas or maybe something else early on. As Furion going to have a much easier time in the 3v1 than the Timbersaw has. And then, I mean, he can use the Treants to farm if he needs to, or TP away. That's something that DA got to keep in mind. Furion could suddenly appear in any fight at any time. Although there's a decent bit of disruption up at top with the Split Earth and the Telekinesis, so he's got to be careful how he approaches that. And so what do you think about the Storm Spirit in the safe lane? He's going to get farm, but his XP may suffer for it.
Oh, dude. To be honest, I would prefer a Storm Spirit having safe lane farm any day of the week, man. If he gets a really early Bloodstone or whatever item really he chooses, he can just carry pretty damn hard, man. He's one of my favorite carries.
Oh, so we can see the disruption going to go off on to the bottom lane here. Timbersaw and Stable Concoction will be used as well. A lot of damage going down as the illusions of Timbersaw going to whack away there. Storm Spirit going to get free farm this entire time. So, yeah, the Exodius is going to be zoned out a little bit at the moment. Millamber not doing the best himself. But, I mean, the pulling of the creeps into the jungle means that he's going to be nowhere near the farm. So he just needs a couple more levels to get that rolling. And in the mid, we can see 5 last hits to the Invoker, 6 to the Viper. But Viper has been denying him quite a bit. So Sunstrike is available for out of control, but is getting denied quite heavily. So he has to put some attention into his own lane there. He can't be looking around the map looking for Sunstrikes.
Yeah, indeed, man. But I suppose that's why these guys are the pro teams, and they'd help with that communication a fair bit. But Invoker, I think, is going to have a little, until he at least gets a few more levels up in Exort, he's going to have a little bit of a tough time getting these early last hits, because that base damage there, the extra base damage, it's so easy to zone other heroes out and pick up those last hits and then harass in between, just because it's quite simply so easy. And look at that, underneath the tower, putting out a lot of good harass there, the Viper.
Yeah, Quas going to be leveled up by out of control. He needs that regeneration. We can see the smokes coming in from the supports of DA. They want this Viper, and they will lift him up there. Will Split Earth be used? Yes, beautiful Split Earth. That will be the first blood going down. Sunstrike does end up missing, and it ends up... Oh, it actually gets taken down by the creep. So 436 gold going to be split up between the three of them, but a very nicely done gank from the DA guys, punishing that Viper for being much too far forward. The enemy supports did their own smoke gank to the mid, but not going to be nearly as successful, I feel. So the early game has been secured for Invoker thus far. He has gone for the Null Talisman to help with that last hitting you were talking about. I'll have to see if he goes for the Midas. And I'm excited to see another Leshrac here, Hawks, because he is very exciting to watch.
Yeah, dude, he does put out a lot of damage early game, and that's what I like about him, man. Once he gets that Edict cranking, is he going to be leveling that? Probably would. Yeah, he's got 2 points in Edict there, so if he gets a successful stun off, man, shit, tons of damage.
Yeah, the towers aren't going to know what hit them. We'll leave it at that. So we can see that Millamber not bothering and being in lane is going to farm. Is actually going to TP up to the top. Invisibility rune being controlled very well by Putting Head on the Shadow Demon. He's picked up all of the runes that have spawned at the bot. Going to use this invisibility to head to the mid, try and get some disruption going on, and then Soul Catcher going to make Invoker take a lot of damage. But he does have to be careful, as Viper Strike not yet finished. They are going to go the Disrupt off and the Shadow Poison out of control, taking a lot of damage actually. He's going to try and get some stuns off on Putting Head. Sunstrike goes off. Sydney going to be coming in. Split Earth ends up missing. A beautiful roam by Putting Head there, as the Shadow Demon actually going to get the kill from that one. So well done there. His rune control transitioning into a kill on the mid. And yeah, so it's going to set Invoker back, and it looks as though he's going to be going for maybe the Trank Boots.
Yeah, fair enough. Gives him a little bit of extra armor there. Not a terrible option. I mean, he could always be building into a 4-staff as well. I mean, I don't think I've seen many Invokers roll with Tranquils, but then again, they did change him recently.
Yeah, there was a change. I'm wondering if I should quickly look it up. I think I will. They did do a recent change. Leshrac not going to be doing much in the mid at the moment. Tranquility Boots. Where are they? Movement speed increased by 5 and HP regen increased to 12. So he's going to be able to move a little bit faster and heal a little bit more. I guess he wants to be moving around as quickly as possible. He could be going for just a 4-staff as well. We have to keep that in mind. As the farming, like you said, Hawks, Jabba or Jabba Wabba Slabber, SNX, doing very well on the farm. He's very happy with how he's doing.
Yeah, dude, he'll be cleaning it up there. It'll be interesting to see what kind of item he chooses to go. I mean, he could rush that Orchid, or he could get a really early Bloodstone. That's purely up to him there. I mean, he doesn't have those mana boots, so maybe he's not going into an early Bloodstone, because you can always just pull that Bloodstone down.
Yeah, definitely.
Pull those, the mana boots down into the Bloodstone.
Yeah, easily you can disassemble them. He's sitting on his gold at the moment, has 1600 to his name, and he could easily go over and get the Mana Crystal. I don't think he's being pushed back too much at the moment, so the Seraphic Nexus supports look like they want to roam into the mid up at top. The Luna farming quite well herself. It's just in mid where the disparity is going on. Power Trades has been finished up by the Viper. He has a regen rune in his pocket as well, so he's going to be able to force trades here, although it looks as though SNX, they want to get some roaming on. They're actually going to head up to the top. I think that ward may have barely seen the Alki, and yeah, that will be pings by the Rubik. I think he's saying Alki is in the mid, and Shadow Demon going to be revealed too. So the DA guy's going to be able to back up here, as there is a big stack in the jungle going to be pulled by the creeps, and out of control wisely staying back here.
Yeah, and that also gives a little bit of space, because of their rotating support there. It gives a bit of space for Timbersaw to catch up on a little bit of farm and levels there. So he's nearly level 6 himself, which is pretty damn good considering that was an early try lane, versus I wonder how the Prophet's gone. Yeah, sitting at level 5, so he's not doing quite as well. But the key thing about this is that now Jabba's actually able to get a little bit more shut down.
Yeah, certainly. So, we're wondering if we're going to have a Midas coming out on the Nature's Prophet. He's working his way towards the money needed. As Viper going to pop his regen rune. I think it may have timed out there. As support's still hanging around the mid. So, like you said, Timbersaw going to be catching up very quickly here. He's only a little bit behind the Nature's Prophet. Has his chakram now. As in the bottom lane, we're going to have Exodius. Timberchain barely gets out there. Storm Spirit going to chase him down. He throws out the ultimate. I don't know what happened there because he stopped moving. And meanwhile, in mid, looks like we had a 1-for-1 Hawks. What happened?
Man, in mid, what happened there was... Oh, here we go. We might have a bit of a contest over Rune, but Leshrac decides against it. Dude, what happened was the supports just came down through this path here, caught out the Viper, but the Alki turned around quite quickly there, and they were able to get killed before the Viper died. So not all was the worst there for the Viper. I mean, he did die, yes, but at least he got the EXP for the kill before dying.
Yep, certainly. And then Exodius, he stopped moving for a little while, and the Vortex went out from Storm Spirit, and then he just got chased down with the Ball Lightning. So I don't know if that was lag issues or what, or maybe it was just looking elsewhere on the map. We can see that how is the gold doing for the teams? Almost 1,000 in Seraphic Nexus favor. The XP very, very even, though. It's been swinging back quite a lot. That would be because of the supports. Luna farming up an absolute storm, and in the mid, yeah, and Sable Concoction going to go out onto out of control. There has been Shadow Poison up. Forge Spirit going to be summoned to do a little bit of the the force away, and then Leshrac TP's in just to cement that lack of going in there. Sunstrike going to land on Alki, falls very low, but he will manage to survive that one, so barely survives. The Sunstrike hasn't been maxed out just yet, of course. As
at top we might have a kill on the Luna here. A lot of damage going out. Here comes out the ult. Is he going to have enough damage to finish it off? No, because Exodus is going to TP in from the bot lane, and that's a double kill in the way of DA there. That was some great answering there. They nearly did have that that Luna down, but yeah, just not able to finish it off. So definitely not what SNX wanted.
No, that was beautiful Eclipse play out of the Luna, and nice support from the rest of her team. That tower will end up going down. I don't know if you saw it, Hawks, but as soon as she popped the Eclipse, that Furion died very quickly.
Melted.
Yeah, absolutely melted. And then Storm Spirit kind of, when he saw the Timbersaw go in, he's like, yeah, okay, I'm gone. He just started running, trying to see if he could, regen a bit of mana to get the ball lightning going off. His return down to the bot, he will be going for the Orchid Malevolence here, as out of control. Looks like he is trying to save up for the Force Staff. As Tisro, he is going to be going for the early mechanism, which is what we see a lot of mid-Vipers go for. And the added advantage of those kills up at top, Hawks, is that both Leshrac and the Rubik going to get a lot of XP from that. The spell still is almost available. Leshrac has 3 points in Split Earth and in Diabolic Edict, so not only do they get that gold, they will be getting much closer to their ultimates. If we have a look at the hero level, the supports of the Seraphic Nexus haven't been as successful, although they have made a lot happen, not quite as much. Well, after that double kill, they're certainly going to be behind. And, Alki only just hit level 6, and Illusion Rune going to be popped in the mid here. I think this tower may be going down in the mid lane.
Yeah, probably will. Invoker might look for a deny here. Is it going to be deny? It is below deny too, I think.
Yeah, there he goes.
Yeah, there you go. He's cranking.
Oh, Nature's Prophet!
Seems the
that was close. That was very cheeky.
Did he TP in for the snipe?
Yeah,
oh,
he TP'd in. He barely missed it. Yeah, and that was a level 1 teleportation. It has a massive cooldown, so he's not going to be able to go anywhere else for the time being. So risky move, and it goes DA's way in the end, as the deny does get used. Invisibility rune on the NP there. We see the ball lightning go out by Jabba just to disengage there. The top lane being pushed very hard by DA, and what is his name? Burner? Yeah, Burner. I thought it said Boomer for a second. He's able to farm very quickly thanks to the Moonglaves. Wonder if he'll go for the Helmet Dominator or going to go straight into the BKB. I would imagine the Magic Immunity worth more than Lifesteal, Hawks.
What do we got? Yeah, I'd probably say the BKB. I mean, if he gets that the Storm Spirit on him, I mean that Vortex can really lock him down though. But other than that, they don't have a significant portion of magic damage. I mean, they've got lockdown, as I said, with the concoction and the Vortex. I mean, I suppose the Storm Spirit static remnants also do whoop some ass too early game.
Well, we'll have to see what she goes. She's farming up a Storm, and there she goes. She will be going for the Black King bar. Has the Ogre Club for a little bit of tankiness. Of course, Mithril Hammer costs a little bit much. How is the Invoker going? Does have that Force stuff, so he wasn't going Tranks. Probably going to be going Power Treads or maybe Phase Boots. I would say Power Treads probably as Ball Lightning. Going to be used by Jabba Webber. Apparently the range on getting the audio of his ult is very loud, and it looks like the push going on by DA in the mid. They have their Timbersaw there. He has almost all of the mechanism at this point, just needs a little bit more, and then the cost of the recipe, which is 900. Shadow Poison being used there by Shadow Demon to counter push. He'll be able to pop those very quickly, get a little bit of money on the Forged Spirits. Oh, I think one of them falls to the tower. Meanwhile, Malamba pushing at the top, forces the TP from Luna, as she's going to pick up all this XP there. Actually going to get the Lucent Beam off on the Nature's Prophet. Will he be able to TP out? She doesn't have another stun, and he will manage to escape. That was a close call for him.
Yeah, she probably could have committed there with that ult, but chose should save it for a team fight. Not a bad option, I suppose, because if a team fight does break out, I mean, she really would want that. But yeah, that's fair enough.
Very punishing cooldown. So Medallion of Courage has been finished by the Alchemist. They could look to do a Roche. He's a little bit harder thanks to 6.80, but with the DD root on Viper, they could easily head on over there if they got vision control, which this ward's about to run out by DA here up on the river. Do they have anything else? No. So there's a small window where SNX could rush that Roche and get him very low, but it may be too risky against, Eclipse, all of Leshrac's abilities. I mean, all of Invoker's abilities are pretty good in AoE as well. And then the Timbersaw, maybe too risky, but they do have the option. They're looking at the bottom tier 1 at the moment, which isn't the healthiest, but it can stand up a little bit. As Exodius going to be joined by the supports of his team. Gets the arcane boots used on him. Nothing's been spell stolen at the moment. Nature's Prophet is actually at the bot, so they really want this tower to go down. But Timbersaw pretty good at pushing back there. Disruption goes off onto the Rubik, and he will steal the disruption as he goes down. Eclipse gets popped. A lot of it is going onto the creeps, and he does end up falling. 3 kills for the Viper there. Sunstrike going to do absolutely nothing, and that is 3 for O in SNX's favour. Split Earth does hit, but it will be too little too late by Sydney there. Unstable Concoction going to force the Invoker back. 4 kills and a tower going down. Disastrous for DA.
Yeah, dude, that definitely was a fight that didn't go in their favour too. The Luna probably in hindsight should have stuck to pushing bot. I mean, she can push pretty hard, but fair enough, she did TP in for that ult there. Just, yeah, as you said, hit a few of those creeps and just didn't roll as nicely as she hoped. So they're going to lose, the DA team, they're going to lose four players there and 2 towers. So that is massive catch up there for SNX.
Yeah, so the Shadow Amulet part of the Shadow Blade being picked up by the Nature's Prophet. Their Storm Spirit has the recipe for the Orchid Malevolence, so he will be able to get that once the chicken makes its way over to him. As Burner far away from the Mithril Hammer thus far. How is the Viper going? He could have got caught there, but he does TP out in the end, going for, I think, an Eye of Skadi, or actually no, I don't think that builds into... Oh, it does indeed, yeah, I think he's going for the Eye of Skadi, so going to be a very strong anti-carry, stopping the Invoker and the Luna auto-attacking with the Viper Strike, the Poison Attack, and then the Eye of Skadi. So I like it when you pick up the Orb of Venom on Viper. He says, really? Do I really need this? Good fun. He actually says that to you.
Hold on. Yeah, I'd say that'd be going into an Aghanim Scepter, dude, not a... Yeah, because you've got your Poison Attack, dude, which is a slow. And it's a better slow too, and it does damage over time, and it's a unique modifier.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I think a Viper Strike gets longer range on the Ag, so that would definitely make sense.
Yeah, and more damage, I believe.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess why not?
Yeah.
Ball Lightning going to go off by the Storm Spirit. Gets an outrageous Vortex there before stop. Used by Out of Control to get his way out. Orchid Malevolence used on Sydney just to stop him doing anything there. Shadow Blade finished up by the Nature's Prophet. Burner going to be annihilating the top there. Ball Lightning used on the Rubik, but he will get the regen rune. So a small victory there. Storm Spirit is out of mana for the time being. Viper Strike goes on Leshrak in the mid. Sydney going to be falling very, very low. Timbersaw cannot get there to save him. That is the 4th kill for the Viper. He does have the illusion rune as well, so they could turn this into a push. They have Princess L on the Alchemist off to the side where the illusions are, as the top continuing to be pushed by Burner. Got to be careful that he doesn't get engaged on though. And where is the Nature's Prophet? He is pushing at the bot.
Yeah, pushing and catching a bit of fun there. He'll probably find himself TP in there in a second, I'd say, or maybe even the Alki. They're letting the Alki farm up a little bit. I mean, I saw her do a stack of Ancients before, which is fair enough.
That was very close. Shadow Demon almost went down, managed to TP back to his base and eat a tree. Something got finished up there. I didn't quite see what it was.
Blinked on Alki.
Oh, okay, so he's going to look to blink forward and get an Unstable Concoction off on the Luna. They have a little bit of time before BKB's finished, but at times quickly running out. She's almost got enough to finish the recipe there. Sydney does not yet have the Pulse Nova. He probably shouldn't be in the middle of the enemy team, so it does make sense not to pick that up just yet. Vision control being established by Defenestrative. Apocalypse on the bottom part of the river. Going to be... Yep, they're going to finish that off with the Forged Spirits. They're going to be scouting out with them as well. The top tier 1 is the last tier 1 standing for DA, and I can't see it standing very long here with the amount of attention being applied to it. The only member that is not there is the Storm Spirit, and he doesn't have TP scroll for 40 seconds, so he can't join his team, but with the amount of treants there, going to be falling very, very quickly. I think Necronomicon being worked on by the Invoker, he only needs 200 to finish that one off, so it's going to definitely come down to the pushing here. Oh,
Radiant's
where's
mid
the Storm
tower's
Spirit?
getting banged up.
Apparently, he was just pawning
Radiant structures must
the
have been
shack.
fortified.
Yeah. Also, another reason why he
Dire's top
doesn't have
tower's
that old
getting beat down.
early game. It's actually too hard to sustain the meta for his
fair
ult.
enough,
That's
yeah.
why, you rarely
Radiant's
see
mid
it
tower's
picked up.
been disowned.
Yeah, I don't think I would have helped him there either.
Oh no, not at that level difference, I'd say. I mean, what is he, level 14 versus, I think, level 7 last time I looked. Yeah, level 7, yeah. Not going to last a second.
So Malamba and Princess L going to be clearing up the top part of the jungle. The DA guys scrambling to try and find some kind of income for themselves. Luna does now have the Black King bar that could make a difference. They need some mana on Exodius, though he's going to get some from the Rubik. Spell Steal is available if they could steal something key. It would help a lot. The Ancient's doing a lot of damage to the Shadow Demon there, who is played by Puddinghead. And Malamba continuing to be a jerk on the Nature's Prophet, working on his own Necronomicon. Necromicon? What is it actually?
The
Let's
Dire
have a
might
look.
want to mine their top tower.
Necronomicon. Okay, so I had it right the first time. Viper Strike going to be used in the mid there, but DA going to quickly disengage from that one. Malamba probably going to TP in soon. He's continuing to whack away up at the top. The Nature's Prophet ult goes off, and there we see the Invoker pulled in by the Storm Spirit. Does get knocked up by the Rubik there. Timbersaw not tanky enough to survive, as 4 members of DA have gone down. Not a single one of Seraphic Nexus have, and Burner going to be the last one to fall. A 0 for 5 in Seraphic Nexus's favor after the enemy team engaged much too far forward, and they're going to turn this into a push. The top tower is at 13 health, and there it does eventually fall. And the T2 in the mid, the last one remaining outside of DA's base. Necronomicon finished up by the Nature's Prophet just in time to get some pushing going on.
Mid tower won't last much longer.
Yeah, indeed, it does have that backdoor protection there, but they should have enough TBS. I don't know, the Viper's too busy
Mid towers
to
have
care right now.
Okay, so they don't actually have creeps here, so tower's going to heal back through. Oh, no, I guess not. It's going to sit at taking about, I think, 42 damage, so not the worst. They are going to recover after that fight. Hood of Defiance picked up by the Shadow Demon, working on a pipe of insight. This Timbersaw, man, he's very squishy, very, very squishy.
Yeah, not finding the early kills that Timbersaw likes, obviously, to spiral out of control there.
Treants being summoned at the top and taking some bouncing glaives to the faces, as Malamba just going to be farming away. Does have TP if he needs to get out, as Princess L going to be farming him or herself. I would venture a guess that it's a him, as the Courier going to be working its way out. The Black King bar finished up on the Storm Spirit there, so he's going to be magic immune now. That fight was dominated by SNX. I'm not sure what DA can do at this point, apart from continue trying to farm up and get a Manta style going on the Luna.
Yeah, that Luna is the key. She definitely needs to get fat, because there's a lot more scaling in the SNX team, as I said, through the Alki, even as a support. Then you've got the Prophet and Storm Spirit as well, and Viper. I mean, that's 4 heroes that can right-click carry a game through.
Dire's mid tower could use a little
We can
help.
see BKB also being worked on by Narcotic
Radiant's bottom
on the
tower's
Viper,
better
so
days.
I mean, there's not going to be a lot that Leshrac can do in these fights, as the TP goes down to the bottom lane. Exodius just trying to push out, gets Vortex out of the ring of trees. Does not matter, the bottom tower going to be looking very healthy after all is said and done. Princess Ella and Narcotic running around the bottom part of the river. Roche is still up and available. Loosen Beam used on Narcotic. He's just going to shrug that one off. The Spell Steal steals Viper Strike. That is actually a great steal, but I mean, they're too low health at this point. They're blink forward by Princess L. They're going to lock up Invoker. These Forge Spirits trying to sprint out of there. Force Staff, is it going to be enough to save him? No, it will not. Malamba going to run out after TPing in. That is 4 members of DA going down. Eclipse popped by Burner to make a last stand, but it will not be enough. Again, 5 for 0 in Seraphic Nexus's favor. They're going to easily take down this T2 now that the backdoor protection has gone away, and they could easily decide to push into the base at this point. There's not much money on the side of DA to buy back, but they're going to back off and take themselves a Roshan.
Yeah, that's probably fair enough. They'll be able to do that easily. Smack that on the Storm Spirit there, and he's going to be having himself a field day.
Oh, is that 2200 going to be 2400 once once the Roche goes down? He's going to take some bottle charges to get a little bit of mana back, so in case something happens, he can back out. Sunstrike going to go off. It was actually fairly well timed, just a little too late. Storm Spirit sounding his normal boisterous self upon picking that one up. And it looks like Seraphic Nexus not quite finished yet. They're going to take out this massive stack of Ancients there. Probably going to go over to the Storm Spirit. They're putting all their eggs in one basket at this point. Although I guess the Viper could be taking them as well. I think he does have enough for the Black King bar at the moment. So a lot of Seraphic Nexus is going to be magic immune in these fights. And I think Zodius, he needs to get tanky, and he's not getting the income to do it.
No, he's got to leave most of the farm for Luna, which is the issue here. He didn't have that really good start. Aside from that top gank that went really well in their favour, they have smoked up now. The DA guys coming down through the Dire Ancients, gonna have a little bit of knob off, and I've got a feeling they're not going to find much.
No, Seraphic Nexus being very smart and backing off once they've taken that ancient camp out. So, nice idea by DA, just does not work out for them. They could try and take a tower off of this, the bottom T1, still standing at the moment. They just got to be careful that they don't suddenly have, well, exactly what Nature's Prophet's doing now. Luna going to be TPing back to try and stop that one. They're going to try and pick up the T1 at the bot. Chakram going to mean that all of the Diabolic Edicts go onto the tower. Ball lightning up at the top. Burner going to end up falling very, very quickly. Gets right clicked down by Nature's Prophet. Now the tier 3 up atop, taking a lot of fire. Ball lightning forward by Storm Spirit. He does have Aegis, doesn't need it quite yet. Will he end up falling? No, he does not. He survives the split earth. Invoker not going to be able to pop that for him. All the Necronomicon units do pop the Aegis, but I mean, they're paying for it with their lives. 3 members of DA go down to the Nature's Prophet, and GG is called by a Defenestrative Apocalypse. A Seraphic Nexus again taking a victory, not as dominant as last week, but still very convincing.
Yeah, DA won a really good spot. Early game, I was having a really good feeling, especially with that good gank that Timbersaw pulled off on their 2 carries, or one of their 2 carries, I suppose. They got the counter gank up there on the Storm Spirit and Nature's Prophet, and I thought, okay, righto, here we go. They're in a really good spot here, but to their credit, the SNX guys really turned that game in their favour.
No, yeah, they did very well. We're going to have to nominate an MVP. Who are you thinking? It's a toughie, I think.
Yeah, everybody played.
Yeah, there were good players all around.
Fairly decent. There was a lot of good ganks from the Shrek and the Rubik early game. I don't know, man. I'll let you call this one.
Oh, well, I think Narcotic on Viper did a great job in, cementing that early lead, even after he fell to First Blood. Oh, well, he got executed for First Blood, I guess, and the gold was split around. But he did a pretty solid job, so I'm going to have to hand it to him. Ladies and gents, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been Match B of Group B here in the qualifying round of AEL Summer Cup 2014. We should have another match. It will be the admin Bloodlocks team, Glitch Gaming. So we'll go ahead and jump into that lobby. Don't go anywhere, and we'll keep you updated. This is Coldblood and Hawksbox signing out for now.